They said they love me, but love doesn't throw you out like trash. I trusted them. I believed in them, but the night before I left, they packed my bags, not for a visit, but for good. No warning, no goodbye, just a call telling me never to return alone. Broken, betrayed, but I refused to stay down. Watched till the end, because the one they rejected became the one they couldn't live without. Ben, a 24-year-old young man from Avia, Nigeria, was the last of 6 children. He was born into a poor family, but his parents, despite their struggles, were still alive. Life had never been easy for Ben. He had watched his older siblings struggle to make something of themselves with little to no resources. When he completed his secondary school education, his parents, burdened by financial constraints, had to make a tough decision. They asked him to move in with his eldest sister, who is married with 2 children, hoping she and her husband would help him find a better future. Ben accepted his fate and traveled to his sister's house with the hope that this new arrangement would bring him closer to achieving his dreams. Upon arrival, he was warmly received, and it seemed like everything would work out for the better. His sister and her husband assured him that he could stay with them, and for a while life was bearable. However, day 2 faced financial struggles and could not afford to send him to a higher institution. After several discussions, they advised him to learn a trade, specifically computer and phone engineering, believing that acquiring such a skill would secure his future. Ben, though, disappointed that he couldn't further his education, saw an opportunity in learning a skill. He enrolled as an apprentice in a small shop that specializes in phone and computer services, repairs and maintenance. At first, it was overwhelming, but with determination and a hunger for success, he pushed through. The first few months were filled with challenges, from understanding the basics to dealing with difficult customers, but he persevered. Over time, his hard work paid off. After 20 months of training, he had gained significant knowledge in the field and was gradually becoming proficient. He dreamt of opening his own repair shop one day, where he could be independent and make a name for himself. Just as his aspirations were beginning to take shape, the Christmas season arrived, bringing with it a turn of events that would change his life forever. His sister and her husband decided it was time for him to return home to visit his parents, but unknown to him, they had other plans. Excited, yet oblivious to what was about to happen, then packed his belongings, looking forward to reuniting with his family. The night before his departure, his sister and her husband secretly rearranged his luggage, packing all his belongings without his knowledge. It was their silent farewell, their way of ensuring he would not return. The next morning, as he prepared to leave, he noticed that his bag seemed heavier than he had packed. However, in the rush of leaving, he did not take the time to check. His sister and her husband hurried him out. In sharing, he got on the bus without delay. It was only when he arrived in the village and called his sister that the painful truth was revealed. They told him he was not to return. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt. His dreams, friends, and the life he had begun to build were all gone. In an instant, the betrayal shattered Ben. He felt abandoned and lost, regretting ever trusting his sister. However, with no other choice, he decided to continue what he had started. In the village, he found a small phone repair shop and begged the owner to allow him to work and refine his skills. He had to start from scratch, working tirelessly to rebuild himself. To make ends meet, he took on additional jobs, including farm work and laboring at construction site. Every penny he earned was carefully saved, as he dreamed of one day setting up his own shop. Months turned into years, and then managed to rent a single room for himself. The life was tough. He remained resilient. Just as things were beginning to look up, tragedy struck. One fateful evening while he was away, a fire broke out due to a neighbor's carelessness with electrical appliances. The fire spread quickly, consuming his room and all his belongings. Everything he had worked so hard to acquire was gone in an instant. Coming home to find his room reduced to ashes was a crushing blow. He wondered if he was cursed. Why did misfortune always find him? With nowhere else to turn, he packed a few things that survived the fire and moved back into his parents' house. Defeated but not broken, he took time to recover emotionally and mentally. Some months later, his father, seeing his determination, gave him a small amount of money to help him start over. With this, plus the little he had managed to save, then made another brave decision to return to the city. There he found 3 other young men who were his classmates back then at secondary school, struggling just like him, and together they rented a single room. He knew he had to make this work, no matter the hardships that lay ahead. With the money he had left, then rented a tiny shop and purchased a few tools to restart his repair business. It was not an easy road, but his skill and dedication gradually brought customers to his doorstep. Each day he worked harder fixing phones, upgrading software and repairing computers, warning, just enough to sustain himself and contribute to rent. Years passed, and Ben's perseverance began to pay off. He expanded his business, moving into a bigger shop and hiring assistants. His name spread, and soon he was recognized as one of the best phone and computer engineers in the city. He moved out of the crowded room and rented a proper house for himself. Life had finally turned around just when Ben thought his past was behind him, and unexpected cocaine. His eldest sister, the same one who had sent him away, was now in desperate need. Her child was gravely ill, and the hospital demanded a large deposit before beginning treatment. She had managed to gather half of the required amount, but needed help covering the rest. Their mother, aware of Ben's success, had told her he was in the same city and doing well. With no other option, she swallowed her pride and reached out to Ben. At first, he refused, reminding her of the pain she had caused him. However, after much pleading from her husband, and even their parents, then let go of the past, he paid the hospital bill. In sharing, the child received the necessary treatment. After the child recovered, his sister came to him again, this time in deep remorse. She apologized sincerely, admitting that what she and her husband had done was wrong. Moved by her genuine regret, then forgave them. His journey had been painful, but it had made him stronger. The rejected stone had indeed become the chief cornerstone. Through resilience, he had turned his misfortunes into triumph, proving that determination and hard work could rewrite one's destiny, and thus peace was restored in the family. And Ben's story became an inspiration to many who faced similar struggles. Life will throw obstacles in your path. People you trust may betray you. You may lose everything, but never lose your will to rise again. Ben's story proves that pain is temporary but hard work. Resilience and faith will always lead to victory. The stone that was rejected became the cornerstone. If you're struggling right now, remember your story isn't over yet. Keep pushing, keep believing in one day. Those who doubted you will have no choice but to respect your success. If this story inspired you, don't leave without subscribing. More powerful stories are coming your way. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Love you all.